sort my camera angle out. Let's sort my camera angle out. That's better, isn't it? Good evening. How are you? What's going on tonight, Martin? Gonna wait for a few more to come in. Now, I've noticed that down here there's a little box with a question mark in it. Apparently you guys can put questions in there and I can bring them up on the screen, which is pretty cool. And what's this? Alright, Titus Painting has put a request in. OG, good evening. Horu, good evening. Alright, okay. Well, we shall see. Good evening, everybody. Titus Painting wants... what do you want to talk about, Titus? What do you want to talk about? I hope it's painting related. I might to talk guitars as well, but I'm in my painting area. Like, tonight, I actually tried to do another video for my YouTube channel. I actually felt like... I just felt quite out of practice at doing it. I felt a little bit jittery and like I was rushing it and blah blah blah, and it's actually made me rethink my process about how I do painting videos in the future. So yeah, right, you've given me some love heart eyes there, Titus Painting. Good evening, everyone. Wow, there's quite a few of you popping up tonight. So yeah, I decided I'd come on and I'd be a lot more painting specific for this live feed. I have not necessarily anything in particular to talk about, or can talk forever about painting. I want to know what questions you guys have got, and I want to test out this funky question button at the bottom there. So if anybody wants to have a go at that, then please do. Let's get this camera down a little bit so it gets my baldy head higher up. There we go. So yeah, sat on my painting desk. Got this business here. Got I actually bought some new Element Games brushes today as well. I'll tell you what I was thinking. I was kind of thinking of giving them away on my YouTube channel. I was just sat on the train on the way home and I just thought, could just share the love a little bit, for subscribers to my YouTube channel, because I go on about these Element Games brushes quite a lot, and I always stick a link in the bottom of my YouTube channel, in the information section just below, for people that want to buy them, but I never hear anyone else going on about them. So I figured I would actually share some of these things. So let me know if that's a good idea for people who subscribe to my channel. Because I think I'd like to build it a little bit more. And the reason I haven't done is part laziness. But really it's just due to a little bit of I'm unsure about how I want to communicate and what I want to communicate. Because like I said in one of the other live feeds, I don't want to give any spoilers from those that come to my classes, whether they be private or group sessions, because there's information in there that if you have it beforehand or you have it through a video without me, it absolutely loses its impact, and that actually cheapens that experience for everyone. It's not a great secret I'm trying to keep, it's that experience, that I'm trying to keep precious for you guys. It's not as if I'm making loads of money off this at all, is it? If I was, I wouldn't need a job. So yeah, let me know what you think. So yeah, I am also thinking about doing some of my own events this year. So lots of people have been really great to me and asked me to come and run events on behalf of their organisations and things like that, and Journeyman Miniatures They've been amazing. Salute. The South London Warlords, they have been amazing. Alpha Games down in Suffolk, they have been amazing. You know, and all these guys have asked me to come and teach their regulars or people in their area. My fundamentals course, and in some cases my non-metallics course. And all that's got me thinking that while these courses are really good, because I really enjoy them and everybody else really enjoys them, and obviously the hosts want me to go and do these things as well, I was just thinking that maybe I'd like to do something that's in between a class and a private lesson, so I'd actually spend more time than a private lesson, okay, I'd probably charge about the same, but have smaller numbers in a class but more people than a private lesson. So I was thinking like maybe me, 4 or 5 other people, we've got 8 hours and I take you through the fundamentals course, but then more importantly how that applies to what I kind of look for in competition painting as a judge, and what all my models kind of contain, especially the one that won me the Demon, and what I see in other people's models, and show you how in a little bit more of an intimate and intensive way how that all applies to high-end painting, and really go into more the nitty-gritty. And also you guys can bring your competition pieces and we'll find out how all these things fit together, you know. So there you go, there's all that. There's a lot of you guys whacking comments on here, so in fact, right, there's 2 comments in my little box down here, so I'm going to use this because I'm excited. I'll also scroll back up and see what other people have said. Right, okay, so first one up is Drake. Any advice for batch painting whilst keeping a decent tabletop standard? Yes, I do have advice for batch painting. Right, now, it depends how many you're batch painting. I probably wouldn't. Depends on what you're painting actually. Say if you're doing Space Marines, batch painting about 10 can feel like quite a lot, and it also depends on what you mean by tabletop standard as well. But you can never go wrong by smashing on base coats with this. Some might say use an airbrush, which is weirdly one of the points off my myths about painting. I think I'd probably only start using an airbrush to smash on all those colours if I had a lot more than 10 models. But let's say if I'm doing Ultramarines, I wouldn't break out an airbrush for that. I'd go and buy a can of Ultramarine blue spray and smash it all on. You know, so use the bigger tools. These are great for batch painting. All my Space Wolves painted with this, okay? The next thing, if you're going to be doing highlights and things like that, let's say you're doing, again, a load of Space Marines, paint them, start from the same place on the model and paint every line in the same order every time. And that way you'll become more proficient at dancing your way through a model, so it becomes more like a tune, it becomes more like a choreographed dance. And I call this get a root and get a rhythm. So if I go highlight on the toe, sole, heel, ankle, toe, sole, heel, ankle, toe, sole, you know, and I can create a little rhythm to dance the brush up the model, you know, and just settle into that. So and I'll work up a leg, I'll work up the other leg, I'll work up the torso, out to the arms, up to the head, you know, and I'll always have that same route up, because so many people will sit there, they go, oh, I don't know what to paint next, or everything starts to get a little bit messy. Well, not if you do things in the same order every time. You cut down on thinking time. So there you go, get a root, get a rhythm. Cheers, Drake. Right, what's next in the box? Wow, loads flying in. Oh, this is awesome. Any tips for painting in a grim, dark, bland Chitsu style? Now, those of you who know my work, generally that's not my forte, but also at the same time, those of you saw the present that I painted for John Blanche. No, I kind of can do that as well, and it's about letting go. Stop thinking so much. I would limit your colour palette, avoid things like green and blue, okay? Limit your colour palette and just let go. You know, there's no such thing as a mistake necessarily, yeah? And just flow. Just let paint go on the model, you know. And I don't just mean like just blindly go and spaz out on it. There's still a certain amount of cogitation and guidance, but it's less control and more expressive in your paint work. So just let go more, limit your colour palette, yeah, and use kind of aim for different textures, yeah. So that'd be the best advice for that. Cheers, Nurgle. Right, what else? Wow, man. OG, do I hold classes outside of the UK? If so, can I please come to Canada? I have held classes outside of the UK, but other people have invited me over to their venue, and I've ran an event on their behalf. So if you have a venue and you have a place that you'd think it'd be great to run a painting lesson from, a hobby shop or whatever it is, then get in touch and we'll see if we can make something happen. So if you email me at tuition@golanpaintingstudio.co.uk, or you could just private message me on here and I'll just send that to you, and then we'll see if we can make something happen. I'm absolutely up for that. But ultimately it's about bums on seats. Do you reckon you can get bums on seats? Because I don't know your area, and I don't know your hobbyists, so if you do know them, send them my way, get them familiar with my work, and let's see if we can find a way to get me out there, because I'm game. As for the rest of the world, by the way. Okay, Will paints. When I'm painting a base for a showcase piece, what kind of thought processes do I go into choosing colours to work with the miniatures? Well, it's the same as the processes I go through composing the base. It has to fit with the story, yeah. It can't overpower the model, yeah. So it's generally like, as much as it's awesome to build this cool base, if the base is the showcase of the piece and the model is just the cherry on top, then you've done it wrong. The base should more be like a fancy plate for the cake. Do you know what I mean? You've got to think about those things instead. So if you're thinking more along those lines, that the base is very much the frame, and it sets the scene and the tone for your guide to tell the story. The colours must fit into that idea as well. I couldn't say only use dry brushing or only use natural materials or what. I mean, because it's endless, the materials you could use or the materials you could not use. You've just got to make sure that the synergy of model and base. Model is the focus of the tale. This just enhances his story. Yeah, it's not about, and it carries his story to the viewer like the plate carries the cake to the viewer. You've got to think about it like that. Alright, dude. Wow, I tell you what, I'm answering all these questions in this box. There's another one flying in here. I'm gonna sneeze as well. Shot you. You didn't see that coming, did you? Right, okay, let's go through some comments now. Actually, there's been loads. Okay. That question box is cool, isn't it? Alright, everyone's waving at me. I'm going to wave back at you all. Because I'm not pressing this button like a billion times. Drake, specifically Space Marines. Yeah, just be neat, get a root, get a rhythm. We can all use new brushes. Yes, we can. Are those brushes natural bristles? Yes, they are. OG says to do a group lesson. Yeah, awesome. Ellison's said he highly recommend it. Have you been on one, Mr. Ellison's? Brilliant. Oops, I'm pushing the wrong buttons there. Come on. I think my thing's frozen. Me, my comments thing. Can't scroll up. Ah, there we go. Brilliant. Wow, there's loads of you. Johnny joined that. Evening, Johnny. Evening, Russell. Okay, thanks for the answer, mate. Overthinking. So Nergalayer says, thanks for the answer, mate. Overthinking it has held me back painting in that style for a while. Yeah, well, that's kind of... It does hold you back. Overthinking holds you back in many ways. Like I gave the advice about get a root, get a rhythm. By getting a root and getting a rhythm up your model, well, you cut thinking out of it. You know, thinking's kind of like colour theory. It's a useful tool, but if you use it wrong, it will stuff you over. Alright? So, you know, again, same as wet palettes, useful tool, but if you use it wrong, it's going to screw you. You know, so again, that's a good lesson for you guys. Thank you. Yeah, I had a right sniffle then. Titus Painting, still laughing. What did I drink tonight? Golden Demon tea. Lovely. Alright, you came to Bury St Edmunds. Brilliant. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Very glad you enjoyed it. Will says one day you'll make it into one of my classes. Cool. Amy, good evening. How are you? Did you enjoy Salute? Yeah, I hope you do. I hope you do. I tell you what, watching you come on, Will, in painting from when I met you in Truro, the painter you were to the painter you are now, like world apart. It's been proper interesting watching you. You know, and I've unfollowed a lot of painters recently, either because I don't know, there's just nothing kind of there for me. You've been one of my keepers, so there you go. Right, let's go back to this question box. L. Artson says, how did I achieve the three-dimensional effect gem on my Gene Stealer Cult dude? Well, if you were there for the... In fact, there's two answers to this, actually. In the flesh, it looks less 3D. So first up, it's easy for everyone out in internet land to look at a picture on the internet and go, wow, your colours are so rich. Wow, your colours are so amazing. To almost any artist. Now, you've just got to bear in mind, two things are happening. One, cameras enhance things unrealistically. They never show you the model as it is. They either make it shitter or better, never accurate, alright? That happens to my work, that happens to everyone else's work. Don't be sucked in, yeah? A lot of people are happy just to let you worship them. I'm not that guy. There that is. Now, my work has been subject to looking shitter on camera and better on camera. There's kind of nothing I can do about it, you know, but I will be honest, here and now, that's what happens, okay? So first up, that is happening to that model. Second is, if you were on the non-met course, the first rule I gave in non-mets was about darker to lighter. Well, it's as simple as that. I go darker at the top, lighter at the bottom, because it's over a globe shape, then it gives that three-dimensional depth. More so when you make sure it's outlined with that nice sharp highlight that goes to white at the top. The little sprinkles, or what you might see as bubbles or twinkles up in that jewel, literally just dots of yellow put on it. It's as simple as that, you know. So don't be baffled by what you see. Look at it for what it is, not for what I am tricking you to see it as. Alright, so there you go. What else have we got here? Will, you welcome, man. Brilliant class. Oh, Robert Ellis. Which class did you go to, Rob? Let me know which one you went to, see if I've got any other questions. No, that's it. Hey, that question box there, that is the top idea. I proper enjoyed doing that. And hopefully, if I post this on YouTube, when we're done with this live stream, hopefully when I post it on YouTube, those questions will pop up there as well. I know the comments don't. You know, so anyone watching this on YouTube later on, or now, you know how time works on the internet, it's weird, isn't it? You generally can't see these comments here, so you kind of get this talk out of context to what people are saying. Alright, cool, Alpha Games. Oh, you were sat in the corner where I think you were. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm glad you enjoyed it, by the way. So that's two people here. that have been on my course. In fact, Amy Stuggs, she's been on it as well. So if you want to talk to these guys about what my course is like, preferably without giving away any spoilers, you know, yeah, if you want any reviews, then go and chat to those guys. That'd be amazing. Any other questions to shove in this box here? I thought it was cool, that. Big fella. Did you go to the heavy metal class? You showed me your shields at the end. Because they were top. They were really good, you know. Like really, really good. So, yeah, I was just doing a video on painting myths. So in my last video, which is on my YouTube channel, the last one I kind of did properly, went through painting myths. Non-metal metallics is not a technique. Everyone says, oh, your non-metal metallic technique is amazing. It's not a technique, it's the result of techniques, you know. It's important that it's not a technique, you know. Painting non-mets is the same as painting skin, just the colours are different and somewhere else, you know. So, you need a wet palette. There's another one. You just don't need a wet palette. You might think you do, but you're just lacking in education in how to use dry palettes and paint and brushes. Again, those that have been on the fundamentals course will be able to understand exactly why that's the case. So yeah, there's a couple then. Yeah, I was, you know, making a video tonight. Like, for example, you need colour theory. You don't need colour theory. It's a useful tool, but you don't need it. You need smallest brushes possible. No, you don't. Good big brush is a better brush to have. For example, you know, the smaller a brush, the less paint you can get in it, the less moisture you can get in it, so the shorter work time you've got with it. When it's got a shorter work time, your paint dries out sooner, so when you go to put brush stroke on a model, nothing happens. Generally you'll go again, and inexperience will mean you press harder and then you just make a mess on your model, or your paint really has dried on your brush and you've just ruined your brush. And that's kind of the risk with small brushes. So if you go bigger in the brushes, they've got a bigger well, feeding more moisture to the paint in the tip, giving you more working time, and hopefully if you've chose a good big brush, you'll always have the finest possible point on it, which will always be about the same size as a tiny brush. It just takes slightly more skill to use. So yeah, there you go. There's a few of those things. Right, some more questions rolling in. Got myself MDF cut-offs. Oh, brilliant. Right, well, I tell you what, right, Rob, that means something to me, because you've been on the heavy metal courses, and for you to go on that course and then come on my course and then tell me that you've changed to MDF palettes, a dry palette essentially, that actually means a lot to me, because you're a very good painter, so thank you for telling me that. Good evening, Painting Lemming. Right, questions in the question box. Bosh. Right, Will Paints. Again, do I have any simple techniques that I just really enjoy for the simplicity of it? Dry brushing. Absolutely, dry brushing. Again, I can't wait to use this. I've not actually tried it yet. It's the Element Games, not Element Games, sorry, Artist Opus series D-brush. They gave me a sample at Salute, and I actually can't wait to try it. I don't have any models right now with which to try it on, undercoated. That'd have been a top idea, wouldn't it? But maybe I'll save it for later on during the week. Can I just say as well that I much prefer doing these live streams than I do making up videos. So thank you for turning up, those of you that turn up. Yeah, dry brushing. Dry brushing is one of them simple techniques. Anything else I really enjoy? That is a simple technique. Yeah, I get a weird satisfaction out of. It's not necessarily a technique, more of a method, I suppose. But whatever. I get a really weird satisfaction of using one colour to shade an entire model with, regardless of what colour I'm actually shading. And it's generally a real dark brown, so I'll mix like Rhinox hide with a little bit of black. I like to go in and just shade every part of a model just with that. And I don't do it on every model, but I do it on a lot of models. And I was like, yeah, it's fast, it's simple, and I kind of use it not as a wash, but kind of push the shade into the gaps and really sharpen everything up and really make things darker and crisper at the same time. So yeah, that's quite a satisfying one, I must admit. Will says, crazy nice results with those brushes. Yeah, they are good, aren't they? Right, OG Paintworks says, what have I always wanted to paint but never have, either a model or style? Do you know, there's a few things. I've got projects around me now in the room. You know, there's my gaming table there. I've still not finished painting that. There's my Harlequin army up there, which has just got base coats on it. No shading, no highlighting, no freehand. You know, with the Eldar Wraith Knight, I've always wanted to paint one of them. But I've just not finished that one. I would love to do another Ragnar in Primaris armour. I reckon that might have to happen at some point soon. I've got my Gene Stealer Cult, you know, I've got myself a Kellamorph here. Kind of excited to paint this guy and the rest of my Gene Stealer Cult because they were just cool. Always wanted to paint from my earliest childhood. I think the Gene Stealer Patriarch on Throne, like Google that, Gene Stealer Patriarch on Throne. There's a cool model. Why they never did that one again, I don't know. That would have been amazing to have an updated version of that. I think what else? What have I never done? Oh, I have done a Marnius Calgar. I forget, you know. What else have I not painted? That's amazing. Oh, a Warlord. A true scale Warlord Titan. Well, not true scale, but you know what I mean, a 40k scale Warlord Titan. That'd be amazing. That'd be really good because I love painting knights. I think knights are like absolutely the best model games which I've ever done. So yeah, there you go. Right. First model I ever painted was a wood elf from the Fantastic Plastics Warhammer Regiments box set. Yeah, they were. And there's actually pictures on my Instagram feed. You'll see that it's like a wood elf and a dwarf stood next to each other. They were pretty much my first painted models. There's kind of earlier ones, but I think I was too young to really know what I was doing, so I kind of don't count them, and I don't have them to take pictures of them. But the first time I actually took the hobby seriously and wanted to do it was with that box set, and that was probably like 1989, something like that. So yeah. Let me just sneeze. I'm back in the room. Robert Ellis, which artist has inspired me the most, miniature or otherwise? OG Paintworks has to go, so dude, have fun, see you later. Spread hobby love. Yeah, I agree. Which artist has inspired me most, miniature or otherwise? There's a couple, for a couple of different reasons. Mike McVeigh, obviously being one. People say I kind of paint or talk a lot like Bob Ross when I teach painting. Not that Bob has necessarily inspired me, but I think we'd definitely be on the same page. Mike McVeigh. Do you know there's loads actually? Mike McVeigh and Tim Prow are two biggies, and they're early heavy metal painters. They are, you know, early 90s. In fact, Tim Prow, I think, actually would be the biggest single memorable influence, because again, I'm sure I've put a model down in my feed of like a chaos sorcerer with a sword, and he's got like red robes and he's in skeleton armor and he's pointing, and that model I actually painted because I watched Tim Prow painting it in like 1991 maybe, in a Games Workshop. I watched him paint it from start to finish, and I just memorised everything he did. I didn't take notes or anything like that. I memorised everything he did. I memorised the model, I memorised his brush strokes, I memorised the paints he used. Then at the end of that session, watching him do it, and me as a quiet kid just sat there like that, and I loved his Megadeth t-shirt at the time. I went and bought the paints and brushes. I went and bought the model there and then. I went straight home and I just tried to recreate everything from memory, and that was really the point where painting kind of went, all right, it's that easy, is it? It's that straightforward, it's that simple. And yeah, it kind of kicked off from there. So I'd say he was the biggest influence. Yeah, Tim Prow is a legend. But I don't think he quite knows the impact he had on me personally. I remember going to see him with my mate at Games Day, and it was the same year Space Marine, Epic Space Marine was released. And I sat there again watching him paint Space Marine Devastators for the box set cover. At least I think it was anyway, and that was just amazing. So yeah, who else has joined? Kulki of Cheshire, hello. Ross Barryball, Adrenaline Minis joined. Good evening. Yeah, if anyone wants to shove a question in this funny little box here with a question mark on it, go for it. Absolutely, go for it. You know, well, there's loads of you guys tonight. Cheers for coming, by the way. Cheers for coming. The old Realm of Chaos books were awesome. Yeah, they absolutely were. I've not updated my collection with them, unfortunately now. You know, because I went through a stage where I was like, nah, and I kind of got rid of a load of stuff, and wish I hadn't, but hey ho, there you go. You know. Any other questions? What do you reckon about my idea to give these Element Games brushes away? Again, if people kind of like want to see what they are, there's a link to them. If you're watching it on YouTube, by the way, if you're watching this on YouTube, I always put a link to these brushes below because I like them. They are like pretty much my go-to brushes. Smashing Fine Art asks, am I painting something for Games Day? Not yet. There's nothing fired me up, you know. I don't really care about winning trophies and stuff like that. You know, I didn't create my reputation around doing things like that. And as much as I'm really grateful and chuffed to bits with the demon I've got, I'm not really that motivated. You know, so look at it this way: trophies do not make a great painter. Great painters make trophies. And what's interesting is you're only the best on the day. It doesn't mean you're the best you can be. And I've always just chased skills more than trophies. You know, and not that I'm saying that way's better. That's been the way my life is. That's just the way I am. So yeah, there you go. If passion kind of takes me for a model and I get into it, then that's probably the right thing to enter to a Games Day if I end up going. But if I have to force myself to paint something just for a trophy, then it's probably not going to come out of me as well. And I reckon that applies to quite a few people. Your work can end up stifled, less genuine. It's just to win fortune and glory, whatever that means. And if you kind of like So like you think about my reputation, something which to a degree surprises me how good my reputation is. And again, I'm very grateful, you know. But I made this reputation just off paint jobs and producing good work. So, you know, even in a business way, demons aren't essential, you know, or trophies aren't essential. They're really useful though. At the same time, really useful indeed. But yeah, I've just been lucky enough to not have to do that, you know. So anyway, if you're the best in the room, you're in the wrong room. Depends if you're fighting for your life, doesn't it? Well, then again, that's still the wrong room, you know. But it's still pretty good to be the best in that situation. Thank you, Ross. Smashing Fine Art says good answer, Tommy. Ross Barry Ball, I like your attitude towards the hobby. Thank you. Cheers, man. Nate saying Darren Lavin quoted that on Voxcast. If you're the best painter in the room, you are in the wrong room. Yeah, I mean Darren's one of my favourite painters. There's that. You know. Questions. Wow. Nurgle's Lockup says, Bosch, any particular films or non-Games Workshop books that have inspired my work? Anime from the 90s, late 80s to late 90s, that is the best anime. Like, after that it starts to get a little bit ropey and few and far between. So, you know, when you start to watch things like Akira, just great. You know, and certain album covers as well. Judge Dredd, 2000 AD. These are all the things that inspired me when I was young. So album covers, things like the first 8 Iron Maiden albums. There's some great artwork there. Great inspiration for textures, for special effects, for scenery. Loads. Yeah, old metal album covers. Old 2000 AD from around about the 90s when colour art started to really come in. The art of Paul Bonner and Mark Gibbons and obviously John Blanche. And though the Blanche style kind of is not my natural default, it still influenced me with some cool ideas. Jez Goodwin's concept art always inspired me. Who else? Jeff Taylor, again, he did a lot of White Dwarf and Army book covers. Yeah, there's quite a few. Who have I not said? Those are the few that come to mind anyway. Douche. If I fell to chaos, which god would claim me? Or would I be undivided? I don't know if I want to disclose the answer, to be honest. I think it'd be a toss-up between Slanesh or Nurgle. There you go. I don't know if both got me. I don't know what kind of party I'd have. Leave that to your imaginations. Old school White Dwarfs. Yeah, absolutely. Old school White Dwarfs. Anything after White Dwarf, say 110, and all the way to maybe White Dwarf 200. Anything in that window. I don't know if it's just nostalgia for me. But there's something really cool about that era. I mean, for example, like Last White Dwarf that had that little small magazine thing in it that had the battle at Golgotha, which is like smack bang in the middle of that time. That old epic Space Marine Gate battle report. That was just magic, and there's a reason Games Workshop put that in there, and it's not just because maybe it might be relevant to an article in the White Dwarf, but it's cool. It's just amazing. So yeah, Adrian Smith is good, though I had less of an influence on my work. Nate Satan says, I lost that after Slanesh. Whoa. Comments are moving up too fast. I lust after Slanesh, but you're too ugly, so Nurgle. Which makes me rage. Excuse me, I've got the hiccups. Which makes you rage. Corn. So you want to change that, Zinch, right? Very clever. Very clever. Right. Noise Marine. I tell you what. Noise Marine. There's a model to paint. That'd be amazing. Yeah, that's not a bad idea, that. What was the first model I ever owned, and do I still have it? I'm not sure if I do, you know. I'm not sure if I do. No, I don't, because they were old dwarf ancestors, and I was much too young to know what I was even doing with them. You know, let alone realise there was some kind of model for a war game. I bought them in Plymouth, and I must have been about 7 or something like that, so it was a long time ago. Right, okay. Original Space Marine box art with the Al Pacino Scarface Marine. It was salamanders, they were, and I think that art was Jeff Taylor. Yeah, they were cool. Are they with the Archangels? And it's not Jeff Taylor, it might be Dave Gallagher. I've got it there. I know I've got it there. Can't remember. I know the one, he had blonde hair, didn't he, that guy? What? Commissar Yarrick was captured and held prisoner by Gazgul after the Battle of Golgotha. Yeah. And that's the battle report they played in that White Dwarf was the rescue of that. It was Jervis Johnson versus Andy Chambers. Nurgle's Lockup says, brilliant, I'd recommend a Russian film called Hard to Be a God for grim dark fantasy inspiration. Alright, okay. Is it on YouTube or out like that? Right, here's a question. Right, so I work with a guy in work. He's an amazing guy, but he's never seen Akira. Who here has not seen Akira? Like, I hope no answers come up. You know, Akira is just like, what an amazing film with so many cool ideas in it. So many cool painting ideas. Weirdly, when it comes to anime, it's less about the people, and it's more about the backgrounds they're on. It's more about where they are, and that's where there's a lot. Oh man, what? Oh no, 2 no's. Who has seen Akira? Right, you genuinely, it's from like 1989. Okay, and I'm again, I don't think it's because I'm one of these old school guys afraid of everything new. I still reckon it stands up today as the greatest anime movie like ever. I think your brain will boggle at it. I think it's just such a great piece of animation. Yeah, I'd go and watch Akira. But don't watch it on YouTube, because it's like a pretty dodgy copy on YouTube. And there's a few different dubs of it. There's an old original English dub, which I like the most, obviously, because I'm familiar with it. There's a new English dub, which kind of changes the story a little bit. And then there's a Japanese subtitle version, which changes the story again. And the story is a little bit wonky in all its translations, which is why you kind of get the 3 slightly different versions. I like the original English dub. But you won't watch whichever one you want, because it's a visual spectacle. It really is. Yeah, the bike from Akira is just amazing. That first scene with the race through the streets is just cracking. You saw a documentary about the map painting for all the backgrounds. What, on Akira? Amiga is wonderful, but the ending is horrific. When you say Amiga, do you mean Akira? By the way, yeah, the ending is quite an experience, isn't it? You don't see that coming. You still want the bike from Akira, yeah, because it's amazing. Who doesn't want the Akira bike? Gorgeous light trails. Yeah, exactly. The motorbike scene at the beginning, mega. Is it on Netflix currently? Right, there's your homework for tonight. You want some painting inspiration? Akira. You know, when you think about Akira, you think, you know, there's a couple of things you think about. You think about crazy things happening to the human body, and you think about the bike scene, and you think about the scene in the street just after he's pulling the kid through the street. No spoilers there, but that bit's mega. So yeah, like, you know, you go on about Akira, and then, you know, you've got stuff like this. Painting inspiration right there, you know. Yeah. Watch Akira. Yeah, all the backgrounds painted. Like, this is the thing. Old cartoons are just impressive. Like, genuinely impressive. As Rob's just said, it's all hand painted. It's all done by hand. Yeah, it's people with styluses of some description, whether it be paint, whether it be ink on acetate or whatever it is. It's all hand painted, every bit of it. What a movie! Like, genuinely, like, what a movie. And there's loads of them from the 90s, late 80s to late 90s, golden period for anime. Like, really good. Should do that more. You know, outside of Studio Ghibli, obviously, because that's something else. But even then, that a lot of their movies come from, or his movies, or whoever it is. Well, those are more amazing from the 90s. You know, it's just, yeah, do it, man. Right, what else has got happening here? Spelling mistake. Oh, right, okay, yeah, he did mean Akira. Yeah, eye-popping colours that'll blow anyone away. Yeah, absolutely. So, let's see a show of mutated hands. How many people are going to watch Akira tonight? Just put it on and go to sleep to it if you go have an early night. You know, it's mega. It really is mega. So yeah. Right, any other questions? I always find these videos go dead fast, and I really enjoy them, and the time will pop up there, I'm sure, in the next couple of minutes, so I'll squeeze it in. Lupin the Third, the actual characters are a bit downgrading, but the background art is beautiful. So Lupin the Third, I guess, is an animated movie of some description. Mr. Bob Bobbington, good evening, sir. You might be a bit late to this feed, but welcome anyway. So we've been using this box here, and I realise that on YouTube I'm literally painting it my own thing. But there's a box here on Instagram. I don't want to do it now. There's a box here on Instagram, and that if you type a question into it, I get to answer your questions, and it comes up in this cool little window at the bottom of the screen. And it doesn't then scroll away as I'm trying to read it, and it stays up for everybody to ask a question. So yeah, get some questions in. In fact, you know, what do you want to talk about in the next video? There's a great question. And if it needs something preparing, then I can prepare something for it. That makes it. Lupin the Third is a 1980s anime crime caper comedy drama. Spielberg said it inspired his movies. Right, okay, right. I like the sound of that. See? 80s to 90s, amazing. Thoughts on the new Slanesh range that got teased at Adepticon? Whoa, that Great Demon's mega, isn't it? Right up my street. Of all the Great Demon models we've done so far, yeah, that Slanesh one is my favourite. It's not overworked. It's simple. It's clean. It's smooth. It's exactly what I paint in the model, and that makes it actually. It's going to be a real challenge that to keep everything, to keep any blends and colour transitions nice and neat. It's going to be a task painting that model. Am I finishing my painting myths? What, tonight? There probably won't be time in this vid now. But yeah, I made a video earlier on, but I just didn't feel comfortable in that video. I just didn't feel comfortable in that video, like I'm out of practice. I felt like I was rushing it. I felt a little bit jittery, but yeah, I'd like to, because I've got an entire sheet's worth of there. How many have we got? We've got to 16. So we've got 16 painting myths or things that I've heard bandied around, and yeah, they're just kind of not true. They can be true and they can be not true. They're certainly not essential. You know, things that people bandy around as if they've got the answer, like putting rattle cans in the fridge. Some people say put it in the fridge and it works better. Some people say heat it with a hairdryer and it works better. Well, I've had it go wrong when it's hot, wrong when it's cold, and wrong when it's at room temperature. But I've also had it go right at all of them, so I don't know, you know, just there you go. Right, let's see what people are saying. It's almost like a next generation model. Yeah, it is. It's really cool. Do you like the painting? I'm glad you like the painting myths video. But I think I need to approach my videos in a new way. Because I never rehearse them, and maybe I should. I never have notes. Maybe I should. You know, maybe I should have a comment card behind me, behind you guys. And yeah, just kind of blurt madness out, and sometimes I might be wrong, sometimes I might say something in a way that doesn't express it quite as accurately to you guys, because ultimately that's why I make these videos. I don't make them for me, you know. Although in the beginning I did find them quite therapeutic. Yeah, I make them for you guys, to try and help you guys engage your mind in a new way, which is also another reason why I don't teach painting directly, because I'm trying to get you to think in a new way. And those are my two reasons: getting you to think in a new way about painting, hopefully a more simple, direct and factual way. And also I want to save certain surprises for my students that are essential to them learning. And if I give those things away during one of these videos, then when it comes to learning that lesson, it's actually learned in a lesser way, and I save it. So I'm trying to figure out a way of doing my videos that doesn't devalue that, and I don't mean monetary value, I mean lesson impact value, while at the same time trying to get you guys to engage your mind. And that's my quirky little way. So yeah, it's also why I like questions as well. Hopefully it'll help me focus some things a little bit more direct for you guys. Okay, what's popped up? Bullet points, just to get back to train of thought. Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree. Robert Ellis says it's all about contextualising certain opinions. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I absolutely agree. Another thing I was thinking about doing, because I do have a Patreon account, but I just haven't shared it with anyone, because I don't want to take people's money until I'm sure that what I'm saying and how I'm saying it is correct. Now, that doesn't mean that I need to change it. I might just decide that actually the way I've always been doing it is the way I should share it. But I'm just a little bit insecure about it, if I'm honest. Yeah, and what I was thinking of doing was, for each of these installments of Painting Myths, I use my Patreon channel to go into each myth in a lot more detail for you guys, and really give you guys some value for money, and you know, help you out in a lot more of a closer manner. So yeah, there you go. Steve, good evening. Somebody's left me a comment. Wow, 2. Painting Lemming. I'm painting a blue-eye purple, a bluey purple. Any advice or ideas that I make it look as cool as possible? Dude, what do you mean by cool? That's the thing. What do you mean by cool? So let me know what you mean by cool. Right, okay, another comment. What's my favourite model I've seen in a competition ever? I know you didn't say ever, but I said it on the end. Well, I've been a judge, or I've been an assistant judge, for actually longer than most people wouldn't know. And I've got to hold a lot of Golden Demon winning models in my hands and Slayer Sword winning models in my hands, and people wouldn't know it because I was just a part. I was just a nobody. What's my favourite piece that I've seen at a Golden Demon? I think it was Joe Tomaszowski's Marnius Calgar. That was amazing. Also, Matt Parks painted a Dark Elf warrior on a Carnosaur. Mind blown at that. That was just something else. Who and what else blew my mind? Alexandra Jacques Gillois painted a Chaos cultist with like a weird, like mutated arm. That won the Slayer Sword that year, and other than that, and looking at that in the flesh was just crazy good. That was amazing. I've seen Kirill Kinev's work up close. In particular, his Geiger style Eldar Titan, that was crazy good. What else have I seen that just blew me? I mean, anything by David Soper. I don't think anyone will ever really know what I mean until you can get these models in your hand under a lamp. In a cabinet, past a piece of glass, it's just not good enough. You know, on the internet, not good enough, I've already said. Internet, pictures, taken with a camera either make your models look better or shitter, never real. And to get Dave's work in the flesh is something else, you know. And like I said, I've seen a lot of work in the flesh, you know. Who else? Martin Foote. He made a high elf, like a 54mm high elf spearman. Man, that was amazing. That actually taught me something about painting, about how to texture scenery. Cause he has this it's like this marble stone thing that comes up next to that elf spearman, and it's got this little texture in it that looks like dry brushing, but it's really soft and not dry, and it's just amazing. Wow, comments are flying in now. Wow, time, gentlemen, please. I've got to be heading off. Right, dude, have fun. See you later. Warlords, good evening. Chris, good evening. Painting Lemon, cool. Nice look. Right, cool. Ruler Jewel, blah blah blah. Wasn't a Slanesh champion on Carnosaur. Yeah, it might have been actually. It might have been the Slanesh champion. He had this awesome freehand banner at the back. One of your favourites of all time. Yeah, dude, I had it in my hand. You know, like, amazing that year. I like that. It's probably one of my favourite years for Golden Demon. You know, yeah, amazing. Bellacore conversion is a nightmare photograph. Dude, yeah, it's always the way. You know, no photo can do David Soper's models justice. Absolutely, Rod's mods. Absolutely. Like, I mean, he's got a particular style that somebody may or may not like. But when it comes to actually, can you recreate what he's about to do? Or what he's done is madness. And I have tried, you know, so, but more practice needed. I've used bone colour instead of white to make the highlight colour and liked it, but also curious as to what colours look nice as shades or whether simply a darker purple would look nice. I like nice, rich, strong colours personally. I'm not saying they are the best, but I like to go very cartoony in the way I paint. That's what I like, though I can do many different styles and many different things. That's my way. So I would stick with nice, strong, rich purples. That's just me. You know, should that be you? It's up to you, isn't it? It's up to you. Some people would use colour theory as if it's the answer to all